What up, everyone? Pat Mayo here with your Week 7 DraftKings Picks for tournaments at each position. You want the cheat sheet? It is up on DKPlaybook.com. You want the full DraftKings show? That's over on the Mayo Media Network YouTube channel and on the Pat Mayo Experience podcast feed. Go position by position, talking about all of the best game stacks in depth, but I'm going to condense it down for you because not everyone wants to listen to an hour-long show. They want 4 minutes. Who should you play this week? I got that for you. Let's start at quarterback. The game stacks that you want to have. The Vegas and Tampa game is now on the main slate, and the Arizona and Seattle game also remains on the main slate despite being in the Sunday nighter, which means you can still use Kyler Murray. You can go stack that game. That one is my favorite one to stack on the slate. Kyler projected to be the highest owned quarterback. I get it. He's basically Lamar Jackson. He's out rushing Lamar Jackson, and the price point at $7,100 is just still too low. He should be like $8K. He's not. If you want to save money this week and you want to attack a bad defense, Kyle Allen is only $5,200, and he meshes well with a stack that no one's going to be using in Kyle Allen, Scorin McLaurin, and Logan Thomas. Very cheap. And then you can bring it back with Zeke Elliott, who everyone's kind of off of this week, despite the fact that he dominates the Washington football team year after year after year. Past 3 games, over 100 yards on the ground in each, a touchdown in each. And with Andy Dalton's ADOT being 25% lower than Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott basically got benched for a portion of the Monday night game and still had 8 catches. His floor is so high in this matchup. And if he's going to have like 10 targets in this game, because let's face it, no one is going to be blocking on Dallas. So it's going to be very quick passes. Zeke is the guy that you want in this game, and no one appears to be using him because everyone, when we talk about running backs, is going to go to Alvin Kamara at the very top, which makes perfect sense with Michael Thomas not playing this week. But at the same time, if you use that Kyle Allen stack, you can play both of them if you want to. So my favorite guys at running back, Kamara and Zeke. Henry is somewhat, it's hard to choose between the very top because they're all great options. Aaron Jones is dealing with a calf injury, so I would probably leave him out of the pool this week. You drop into the 6s. I got Chris Carson and Mike Davis. I like Carson more than Davis this week. Both very capable options if you don't want to go to the very high end at running back. David Johnson at $5,300 per dollar is probably my favorite running back on the slate. The Packers suck against the run. They give up the second most touchdowns on the ground per attempt to any team in football. David Johnson's touches gone up and up and up and up each of the past 4 weeks, only $5,300. And the free square of the slate with Joe Mixon being out against Cleveland, Gio Bernard, only $4,500. It's hard to get away from a running back at this price just because he's so cheap. He allows you access to everyone at the very top. He's probably going to be like 50% owned when it comes down to it. I don't really care about that in tournaments. I think you should just play him anyway. Although he will leave the $5,000 to $6,000 tier of running backs completely unowned because everyone is dropping down to save them bucks at running back with Gio Bernard. Wide receiver, Devontae Adams, especially with Aaron Jones banged up, best play, $7,900. It's going to cost you, but of the very top end guys, he is my favorite. Keenan Allen at $6,200. I already mentioned Terry McLaurin, $5,800, second in opportunity share so far this season of receivers amongst all receivers, 7th in air yards. He has the toughest matchups through 6 weeks. Now he gets the Cowboys. Game on. So he's already putting up huge numbers each week anyway, based on incredible volume. Now he gets the best matchup any receiver can have. Let's go, Scorin McLaurin. Finally, bust up the slate for us. T. Higgins, $5,300 in a game where you would expect Joe Burrow to be passing like 50, 60 times. I like Higgins the best of all the Bengals receivers here. And Keelan Cole at $4,700 is someone I don't mind going to in that Jacksonville game, which should be a pass-happy script. He's very cheap. He has breached 100 yards in 4 or 6 games so far this year, and no one really has seemingly took notice. So I like Keelan Cole at $4,700. If you want a punt, because Emmanuel Sanders and Michael Thomas are out for the Saints, along with Benny Fowler, Marquez Callaway played 68% of the snaps against the Chargers 2 weeks ago. Or potentially Deontay Harris, you can pay attention to the news on this one, should start opposite Traquan Smith. Everyone's going to go to Traquan, but Harris and Callaway at $3,000 does open up a lot of room for you in your lineup. If that's a route you want to take, you probably don't want to take that route, but I'm just throwing out some options here for you as punt wide receivers. It's never great to take a $3,000 receiver. That's best left for defenses and tight ends or pay down at quarterback. But if you have to, Callaway's a guy who could see his range of outcomes is huge. It could be 0, but presumably in this game, 4 to 8 targets is what you could be seeing. And for $3,000 in the Saints offense against a bad defense, you could probably do worse. Just saying. At tight end, I like TJ Hawkinson. At the top, everyone's going to go with Kittle or Kelsey. Hawkinson at $5,000 against the worst team against tight ends in Atlanta. A good spot to be in, especially as his red zone presence. Logan Thomas, who I mentioned at $3,500, another decent spot. It looks like Jordan Akins is going to miss this game with a high ankle sprain, which means you could also turn to Darren Fells once again in a shootout potential game, and that is one where he is sub $4,000. You probably want to save money at tight end here. And then finally, at defense, if you do want to pay up, and when I say pay up, that's relative because the Bills are so expensive on this slate, the Chargers at $3,400 are capable. That's fine. I like Washington's defense the best, but I don't like them as a part of the stack if you're using Kyle Allen. That just takes away too many points. Independent of those guys, $2,500 individually is a very good price for the Washington footballs against Dallas. And if you really want to scum it down and save all the money, the Jets at $2,000 against Josh Allen. You hope they don't score in the negatives, but they're so cheap. They allow you to do so much. And listen, Josh Allen could be good for a turnover or two, and maybe you fluke into a defensive touchdown. If the Jets defense could just score 8 points, you're actually doing pretty well. They're at home. They're huge underdogs, and you just never know what the Bills are going to get up to. Plus, everyone's back for the Jets. Maybe their offense looks competent. Wouldn't hold my breath on that, but if it is, the defense could be a lot better than we've seen in recent weeks. That'll do it for me. Check out the Pat Mayo Experience. Check out my cheat sheet and all of my positional rankings for season-long fantasy football up on DKPlaybook.com right now. Go win some money in Week 7, all right? I'm Pat Mayo.